Napa know-how.
A Napa guy knows more isn't always better, unless we're talking about full-size vans. These beasts do more than get you from A to B. They have so much space a man can live in it. With shag carpeting, waterbed, and a sweet lava lamp, these mobile abodes have all the comforts of home. With quality parts and plenty of Napa know-how, you can keep the original tiny house running longer, stronger. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It seems like I was just on the air an hour ago. Oh, wait, that's right. I was just on the air an hour ago. I just had an amazingly lovely interview with Donna earlier, and so now I'm very excited to announce that I'm squeezing in another interview here this afternoon with my old friend. Actually, he's been on the show before, so I'm really, really excited to be hosting him back so soon again. He's a young gent by the name of Angelo Tristan. He's based out of London, England, and we're going to talk a little bit about him and his upcoming EP, which is set to drop this coming Monday. So, without further ado, let me get him on the line.
Hello.
Angelo. How are you?
How you doing?
I could sit and listen to you all day long. I thought about that a half hour ago. I'm like, God, it's that accent. It's the London accent. It is. It drives a girl nuts. It's like, oh my God, listen to how nice he sounds. And that's how you talk normally, right?
Huh?
That's how you normally talk,
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah,
I mean, like all the time.
Yeah, that's my accent. Yeah.
How cool is that? That's great. You know, it's going to get you places. I was saying that to my friends. I'm like, he's going to be a big success, not just because he's talented, but that sound. I mean, people like listening to it. It's like, it's cool, you know? I think it's
you don't really get, I guess, country coming out of England very much. So it's kind of a different phase.
Yes, definitely. I would say so too. And it makes you more versatile, and I love that because sometimes, like, you watch actors and they can switch around their accents and stuff like that. So it's cool when a musician can, like, sound like this, and then in their singing thing is so much different. So kudos to you, man. So how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good. Actually, I'm just about to play an acoustic gig in the next hour or so. So
God!
Yeah, no, it's
Goodness
very
gracious.
busy for me. Yeah.
This is a very good thing. It sounds like since the last time I've spoken to you, things have taken off quite a bit, which is very, very exciting. I wanted to mention one thing. One thing I got to say, and this is a correlation to you because it's just happened. A very, very dear friend of mine just about 2 hours ago announced that he just got engaged. And last time I talked to you, I didn't know that you were engaged, or at least I wasn't under the guise you were. And lo and behold, you're engaged.
Yeah. Well, you know, that was a on the spot thing. I think I kind of knew, but that's all going forward. That's all going strong.
I was going to say, how cool is that? So here you are in London. Okay, so how'd you pop the question? Were you the traditional guy? Did you do the whole knee thing and all that jazz?
Well, let's see. It was. I mean, like, you know, as a working musician, I don't really at the moment. You know, I'm kind of penniless at the moment. I don't have the funds to do anything special. But it was just basically, you know. I got the ring on my birthday, I think it was, and I then in the bedroom in that night, we were going to sleep, right? And I kind of went, you know what? I've got the ring in my pocket. I might as well just get up. And I told my girlfriend at the time to close her eyes, and I got dressed in my suit in the other room, and then I did the candle thing, lit some candles, whatever, and then I walked in the room with my suit on and, you know, everything, my shoes and everything. And I was very nervous. I was shaking. And I went down to one knee and I looked in her eye and I kind of was very nervous. She was very nervous as well. And I just asked. And then, it all kind of went, yes. That was the answer.
Oh, how very sweet is that? That is darling, though, because you're such a young guy. So I admire you so much for not just the talent side of things, but you really are just a very loving gent. I mean, you talk about her so respectfully. You give her so many kudos as it relates to your career. And I just think it's lovely. I mean, young love is lovely to begin with, but you two are you just made me want to cry. That's so sweet. How wonderful is that? That's amazing. Now, because you're a singer, will you actually get married and sing to her on the day of your wedding and all that good jazz?
Oh, well, hey, she's listening right now. Don't ruin it.
oh, no. Whoops. Okay, now I have to be quiet. Okay, let's pretend I didn't just say anything. I didn't just wreck your whole wedding. Oh, my gosh, goodness.
No.
And I suppose you can't, like, get married here, so, like, I could attend, right? because you're going to probably do it in London, right?
You know what? Actually hasn't been arranged yet. We don't actually know where. I'd rather go to America, to be honest. America's, where my heart is. So anything in America would be absolutely beautiful, especially in California.
I got you. Sure. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm venturing out there in a couple months, and it really is nice. Well, congratulations to the both of you. It's very well deserved, my dear. Very happy for you. All right, now let's start off a bit about talking about, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, your EP is set to release on March 11th, which is this coming Monday. Now, to a novice such as myself, because I am music stupid as it relates to the production side, I'd like to have you just give me a school education here as it relates to how much time and effort typically goes into the compilation of an EP.
Oh, wow. Well, I started recording the EP. We kind of invested in the home studio thing, the whole computer and the whole mixer and all the, Logic. And I just kind of asked myself, do I want to spend thousands of pounds going in the studio, or do I want to try and create it myself, trying to create, the kind of the sort of sound that goes out in the industry today by myself in our home studio. And it was, I think at the time I set myself a big challenge, but it took a good 6-7 months to record just 4 tracks perfectly, because I think I'll view myself as a perfectionist. And for me, it was the first time that I'd ever recorded by myself. I was producing and mixing and did everything by myself, all the instruments. I think near to the end, I got the actual, band to come in and do some extra things. But it took a good 7 months to get the sound that you'll be hearing on Monday.
Wow.
But that's the overall finished product. I mean, there's a lot that you kind of also, once you record, and I think this goes out to any record that gets recorded, is that you'll record it, and then about a good 3 months after you've recorded it, you'll have to change a lot of things, because, your ears, you have loads of people listening to it going, okay, this could be changed, this could be changed, this could go here, this could go here. Loads of ideas will get thrown around. Then it'll take another 3 months to get all of those ideas put into place and mix it how you want it. And then again, maybe someone else will go, maybe you could put something here. So you don't really set yourself a deadline, I think. You just kind of record and see how long it actually takes, because you don't want to kind of miss something that could really potentially make it, a normal song to a hit song. So it's really about patience, I think. And I was lucky enough to, have that throughout. And I've learned so much as well by recording myself. So much that I can take on board when I produce and record bigger albums. I'm going to be very much a part of doing the whole producing part, because I've learned so much.
Okay. Do you find that, or are you thinking in the back of your head at some point in time that you might actually lend your hand to collaboration with bands also, meaning your band as well as another one, and working together?
Oh, no, of course. Well, I mean, I think I'm very lucky, because I've just finished kind of handpicking the band I want to use for my career from now until years and years from now. And many of them actually write songs themselves, and they've gone away and written songs for me. And many songs that they've written, good 10 years ago, and they've come up to me now and said, this could be really useful for you. It could really, be good for your voice. Do you want to try it? And so, I mean, collaborating with them, I think it gives them as well an opportunity to get their emotions out as well, because I don't want to be the only person writing in the band. I think when you have a band, it needs to come. The emotion needs to come from everyone, not just the front man. I think that's when you create a really big bond on stage. But in terms of collaborating with other artists, I already do that. Especially living in England, London, where you have a lot of R&B sort of artists, hip hop artists that are breaking out into the industry. They're looking for rock artists to come in and kind of change the flavor, because I think that's where music is going. I think rock is kind of is a big fundamental foundation for all the songs that are coming out these days. So I'm quite lucky to be coming out at this time, because you've got all of those big artists that want guitar riffs and want a rocky sound and want a rocky voice behind it. So I do a couple. I'm actually working with a guy called Young O at the moment, he's quite known in England. He's going to be releasing his single soon that I've featured on guitar and vocals, and that should be released soon. He hasn't, yeah, exactly. So he hasn't given me the date yet for that, but he's actually quite well known. If you find him on Twitter, he's got a good 70,000 followers on his Twitter. So he's very established. And then I've got other people, DJs that DJ on radio shows that they've played I'm Coming Home Tonight, the single, and they've rang me up afterwards and went, listen, we love your track. Is there any chance you could collaborate with me? I do my own stuff. So I've had a lot of people come up to me and ask to collaborate with them. So
Sure.
yeah, I think that's always an option. I mean, session things for me is what I love to do. I love to go in the studio and bang out some tunes for other people. Love it.
Awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Now, last time around, we didn't get much of a chance to talk about this, so today I wanted to make it a highlight to speak relative to your bandmates. Maybe you can kind of give us a breakdown as to your bandmates and what talents that each of them contributes to the success of your band.
Oh, well, it's such a big, vast mixture in the band. I got my guitar teacher who taught me a good 12 years ago called James Wills. He's my backing guitarist and vocalist. Well, backing vocals, and he actually writes a lot of, co-writes a lot of the songs that you'll be hearing in the future. He's actually more of a folky kind of bluesy country guitarist. He's very influenced with Richie Sambora as well, which was lucky for me because that's my idol. So he brings in this kind of country flavor, bluesy flavor, which I love, and that's James Wills. He's the backing guitarist. And to kind of add to the country, I've got a lap steel player called Russell Hillman, and he uses a lap steel. I don't know if you know Black Crows, the band.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they use a big lap steel sound. That adds it's a very dark country sound, and I think that kind of brings out a darker kind of side to the music. And then you've got Jason Moe, who's my keyboardist and backing vocalist, and he's a very soulful, bluesy keyboardist, which really adds a great deal of soul to my music, big depth to it, and I always find that important, especially in live, to have keys. I think it's a really emotional thing as well to have keys, in country music especially. I've got Jimmy or James Carroll, who's my bass player. He's very influenced by Jimmy Cash. He's got his own Jimmy Cash tribute band that he actually tours around London with, very successful. And he's the lead singer of that band, so he's got a really nice, deep, low country voice. And whenever he does his shows, he always kind of starts off like how we doing, partner? It's my Jimmy Cash band. That's my accent for you. You're not going to get any more than that.
Thank you.
Okay. But yeah, so he does that. He's a very good bass player, very rocky, very country. And then I've got my drummer, Max Cowwaters. And he's a German fella, and he played actually for the Scorpions back in the 80s. I don't know if you know the Scorpions.
I do somewhat.
Yeah, one of the biggest bands that came out of Germany, and he played for them. He was the drummer for them. So he's very experienced, and he actually takes a lot of my management side in countries like Germany and Switzerland and Belgium, because he's got big contacts there. So he kind of takes the role of a manager, but also is a very standard rock drummer that keeps the beat, is very powerful. So that really adds to my 80s, Bon Jovi sound that I want to try and get across. So in total, I think the whole band brings a mixture of completely different things. I think it really adds to the emotion that I want to portray.
Sure, definitely. And there's no I in team, obviously, so it's a collective effort, as we all know. So there can't be just a good singer. It's got to be everybody collectively behind him as well.
Yeah.
I think. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Now,
yeah.
I want to chat a little bit about, last time we talked, I believe, your first EP, which is called First Words, has found, hopefully, some momentous success, I'm hoping. Are you going to tell me that you've taken off?
Yes, what happened with that, the EP was going to be called First Words, but now the EP that's coming out, that was that one, but I've changed the name of it. It's going to be called Angelo Tristan, the EP. I didn't want to add any names to it yet because I just want people to get to know who I am first.
Sure.
And then afterwards, when I create a name for myself, then I'll be calling albums, such and such. But at the moment, I just wanted a simple Angelo Tristan, the EP, and then the cover has the band in a circle, and we're just kind of all looking in. And I was trying to get this thing across where we're all putting the energy into this EP and to make it, successful. And that's if you look at the cover, that's what it indicates, kind of all putting our energy into the name of the EP.
That's great. Now, so far and to date, to this point, do you feel personally that you're finding more success in the UK, or are you starting to find yourself having this newfound popularity in the States as well?
Yeah, I mean, there is in the UK. There's a lot of buzz happening. I'm getting a lot of radio play, which is, that always helps. And I just got actually played on the radio on Wednesday on this Pulse London, which is 108 FM in London, and they absolutely love my track. And there's a lot of talk happening around the track. I'm coming on tonight now because of that, and they're going to be playing me for the next 6 weeks on their radio station, and they've asked me to come in and play live with the band and have interviews. And so I think there's a lot of things picking up in England. I'm not exactly seeing it in terms of I'm not seeing the effects yet, but I know it's happening. I can feel it. But sure. I'm getting a lot of talk happening in Germany at the moment because of my drummer, who's actually plugging me very much in Germany. My name's going up dramatically in that side of Europe, Germany, Switzerland, and in fact, in summer we're playing some very big festivals in Germany. I'm actually headlining one in front of 8,000 to 10,000 people in my drummer's hometown. So that's going to be a big thing for me. And then hopefully also we've got a view of doing a stadium also in August. Yeah, in front of 50,000. So hopefully that will go forward, and that will be the start of something great, I think.
Oh, definitely. God, this is exciting. I'm so excited for you. I'm excited just to listen to this. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, if I were to ask you what you feel is your main demographic that you've noticed favored your music at this point in time, what would you say? Would you say men, female, you got a certain age bracket, or is it just nothing across the board yet, nothing specific?
It's for absolutely everybody. I don't want to ever find myself kind of trying to get my music out to a certain demographic. I think when I write my songs, I really hope that everyone whether it be 0 to 10 or 15 to 20 or 40 to 70, I hope that they can take something from it and make a difference in their lives, because that's all I want to do, make someone turn around and look at their lives and not have any regrets. Now, I know that there's a lot of people in their 70s that might look back in their lives and go, I wish I'd done that. And I just kind of want to give to them something that they can look back and go, I don't have any regrets. That's exactly what was meant to happen in my life, and now I can, live the rest of my life in peace and harmony, and then, leave this world happy. And so it reaches out to everybody, because that's just my dream.
You're doing very well at your dream, by the way, dear, in case no one's told you that. I'm in awe of this young man, in case I haven't tooted his horn enough, but we'll keep going on that one.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I've noticed, of course, that you tend to produce a combination of both. It's combining rock and country music, which causes just a uniqueness of its own, because obviously your music is a little different than someone else's and someone else's. So turning to the new EP, do you feel that you've stayed true to that sound mix of the rock and the country, or have you perhaps created something new and different for yourself?
Well, I mean, I think when you hear it, you'll kind of make your mind up for yourself. But in terms of what I think it's I've tried to stay as true as I can. There's one song on there that is got the big massive guitars with a talk box with big stadium drums, and there's the lap steel that goes through the whole song as well to kind of have that country element in it. But that one is a really big country, bigger stadium rock song, I'd say. But I think it's live. It will definitely have all the country elements in it. But in terms of the EP, I think it's much more towards the rocky side. But I think with just that song, I think the rest is country rock. The big guitar solos, big drums, stadium feel. It's got a big orchestra behind the track. So I mean, I think it's very much. I've had quite a lot of reviews saying that it's actually sounding like a movie soundtracks. Yeah, exactly. So I mean that I think will portray the epic side of it, I guess. But in terms of country, I think there's a lot of country elements in there. Not the so much common ones that you probably hear in America, because that's what I was trying to do at first. But I think in America, you're very good, especially with Nashville. You're very good at incorporating like the pedal steel and violins and the guitar sounds in the perfect way to make it sound country. I just don't have the ability or the resources to make it sound like that yet. But I think it's created a unique sound. So I just have to wait and see what people say.
Sure, certainly. Do you think that, and it sounds like it makes sense to me, that at some point in time you may want to even incorporate things like the fiddle on some of your music, because that tends to add quite a bit?
Yes. I'm obviously in my day-to-day basis, I'm listening to so much country music, and I can hear, things like the fiddle and things like the banjo and things like that, which I would, as soon as I get the opportunity to, I'm going to call up these sort of players and tell them to come to the studio and record, because that for me is I get very emotionally attracted to those sort of instruments, especially the pedal steel. For me, the pedal steel is a heavenly instrument. It takes me into another world. So I would definitely get players to come in and do that.
Okay. And a good assumption, of course, would be that once this new EP skyrockets, which I have every faith that it does, I would assume that you would start making intention to be playing outside of your country?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm actually starting this sort of festival tour in Germany in May. We've got big shows happening May, July and August, massive shows in Germany. So that will be the start of me playing outside of England. And then obviously I'll be playing in England from time to time wherever I can. That's not going to be the problem for me. But I do want to go outside of London first, because if you could imagine, I think it's just like Hollywood. I think if you're an actor and you go to Hollywood, I think that's not really the cleverest thing to do, because everyone's going to Hollywood, to try and be an actor. And it's the same with London. Everyone's trying to be a musician in London. So for me to start up in London and try and get my name out in London straight away, it's going to be much harder than if I go out to Germany or go out to Switzerland, go out to these places that you don't have big musicians coming out at the moment, and you get bigger there, then it's easier to get into London as a big name. So that's what I'm trying to do at the moment.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Okay, curiosity question for you. How do you feel that, for you personally, social media plays a part in a musician's success or failure? I guess I view it as it can go either way. So I'm curious about your personal take on that one.
I mean, to be honest, when you come into this industry, I think I actually had a little talk with you about something that you went through just the other day. When we come into this industry, you have to expect the worst. I think if you go into this industry saying, right, the media is going to love me, you're going to get very disappointed, because the media work on bad news sells. And you see the front page of every newspaper, it says, so-and-so got killed or whatever. It's bad news that sells. So they want to try and make you look as bad as possible, because that's what people want to buy into. So I think you just have to expect that they're going to be talking bad about you. But what I think of it is, you just can't get affected by it, really, because you have to be stronger than that. If you're, you have to look at your fans, not what the critics say. Because at the end of the day, the critics aren't making your money, your fans are. And your fans are the ones that are showing you love and, that are coming up to your gigs. I mean, who cares if 50,000 people turn up to your gig and one critic then goes, oh, it was a terrible show, and you have 50,000 fans going, oh, that was the most amazing show. You know what? It's nothing, and that I think that proves and determines who's, going to be the best and who kind of slips. And that's what the critics are there to do, and the media is there to do. It's just try and mess up your life, really. That's what I believe.
Well, except for this radio show host, she's kind of okay.
Except for this,
she
exactly, yeah. Close to my heart, this radio show.
Oh, thank you. I guess the other thing that I think about when in terms of social media, I guess what I wonder for you as a musician, you can address this. Do you feel that cumulatively over time, you're always going to be more successful selling throughout using social media, or do you think ultimately it'll be, okay, live performances will be selling? Which do you think is the key to success here for you?
Wow. I don't know. I mean, I guess, in this day and age, it's really, clever to use the technology that surrounds us. I think if you use the technology in the right way, it can really be a big advantage to you. So I think it would be stupid for someone to be arrogant and go, you know what, no, people could do it 20 years ago or 30 years ago. But what you have to realize is that times have changed. You can't just go to a record company's door and knock on the door and ask for a record contract, because they just have internet now, and they say, okay, send it over internet or whatever. It's not like that, so you have to use the technology in the right way, and you can become as successful as any band, but you have to do it in the right way. And I think I love to use it because it connects you to your fans really easily, Twitter, Facebook, and on all of that. And then also people also use it to push you out as well. So if you tweet something, then they retweet it, and then that person retweets it, and then that person retweets it, you can get really big really quickly. So I think it's a good thing, but I think it does make it easy. It does make it easier, and it makes people lazy now in the industry, which I don't know. I think you'll notice as well. A good 30 years ago, you had bands that would stay around for a long time because they work so hard. They're playing the bars for 10 years, and then they'll get picked up, and they've paid their dues, and they work so hard. That's why they're still around now. But you have artists that come out now that will be only big for a year, and then you'll never hear of them again because they haven't had that chance to find themselves as a musician, or it's just like all this X Factor and American Idol thing. It makes them too big too soon, and they can't handle it. I think it's a quick way to fame, but it doesn't last forever. And I think if you want it to last forever, you have to work hard at it, like anything in life.
Very well put. Extremely well put. And I have to kind of agree with what you're talking about, too. I mean, nowadays, my God, you can sit here. Everything is paperless. You just sit in front of your computer for hours on end. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to, you're kind of plugged into this whole social everything. So I think it's a blessing and a curse, to tell you the truth. Just my personal thought, but it's true.
Yeah.
Question, as it relates to actually mixing music, composing music, putting something such as an EP together, is there such a thing as what I guess I would call a trial and error process, meaning you go through all the trouble of putting something together and then tossing? You know what I mean?
Yes, of course. I've had, wow, I mean, I've been beaten up for the amount of times I've changed this EP, it really is a big trial and error thing. Any album, you record it, and most of the albums that you hear today, they'll be finished a year before they'll be sold because they want people to listen to it within the industry and see if they can pick out anything else that can go or be changed, like I mentioned earlier. So there's a lot of trial and error because you really don't want to be releasing something and then suddenly a month down the line go, I can hear something that I could have changed. It's like that patience thing. You have to just trial and error. It's a big part of making an EP and an album. Yeah.
I gotcha. I got it. So collectively, as it relates to this new EP, how much did you have to change and shift around, or did you like and played around with before you finally got what you needed? How many different changes do you think you went through there?
Hundreds. Thousands.
Wow.
Yeah, you lay down the basics first. Obviously lay down the bass and the drums, and then the acoustic guitars, and then the electrics, and then the violins. And you just once you've finished the whole track, you just go back, and then you start mixing it. And if you hear something that you didn't like, then you have to start it over again. You have to delete that and record it again, and then. But this, I mean, it takes. I thought I was going to do it in 2 weeks, and it took me 7 months. So. It's a really big patience thing. I changed it thousands of times. I wasn't, but the thing is, you're always happy with the present thing. So when you're listening to it presently, you're always happy with it. So then you have to go to bed, sleep it off, wake up in the morning, and then listen to it again with fresh ears, and then you'll hear something that you might want to change. And then you do that again for a couple months, and then you'll have a perfect EP, because you just need to use your ears as fresh as they can be. I think that's when you rush, your ears kind of get a bit fuzzy.
Now, do you ever look at this and say to yourself, just through the course of this, because I know you have such a passion that you resonate for what you do, but do you ever look back and think to yourself, oh my God, if I have to go through this process one more time, I'm going to scream and I may not want to keep doing this? I mean, does it just become so overwhelming to produce a quality product?
It's my job. You know, it's you have to just be calm. I think when you start to get frustrated at yourself, that's when things start to go downhill. So you always have to keep calm, breathe, and just go, you know what? I'd rather do it now because I don't want to then release it and get irritated at it forever. So it's just, you know, it's just that little bit. It's not a big part of your life, you know, to re-record something. So no, you know, you just have to keep calm, and I think I do that to my best of the ability. And then obviously I've got people around me to always calm me down if I do get a bit, you know, astray, which is always helpful. So that's a really good thing to have.
Awesome. Now, maybe I thought that I might give you the opportunity, and this is for the London area, of course, not so much in the States here, because I try to stay in tune here. I'm curious to get your take in terms of if you can highlight to our listeners maybe some of the other up-and-coming artists that you think are going to be hitting the spotlight that we ought to invest our time in.
So what was that? Say that again?
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. Maybe if you can highlight to our listeners maybe some of the artists that you are cognizant of, meaning in London, per se, that are up and coming that you think we might invest our time in. Obviously, of course, Angelo is a given here. Have you come across individuals or someone that you thought, you know what, this is an inspiration to me?
I've come across one. I've come across one. She's called Nena de Oliveira.
Okay.
And she's originally from Brazil, and she came over here. And she's got like this Latin soul rock, everything, you know, groove going on. And I think it's very much it's a mix between Stevie Wonder and Bon Jovi. You know, I do a lot of producing for her as well. And you know, Bon Jovi. You've got like gospel in there, which I know you Americans love gospel. And you know, so it's got a big mix of gospel, country, rock, and everything like this. So I think you guys will actually really have a good take to her.
Oh, how exciting is that? That's absolutely awesome. Okay, so I got one more question for you, and this is the most obvious one. So we have this big release on Monday. Tell us, first of all, when, where, how we get everything, and then further, once all the hoopla associated with this brand new thing is out and you're promoting, what comes after that? What's next?
Right, so you can get the EP on all different platforms on the internet, iTunes, Amazon, anything like that. You just type in Angelo Tristan, you know, on the store, and everything will come up. And the original single will be taken down, and the new single will be put up because things got changed in the single. I was talking, like I said, I released that single with these drums, and then I wanted the drums to change. So I've changed the drums, and now it's going to get re-released as the single. So you can, you know, get a new single and then plus the whole EP. So that you can get it on. If you want a physical copy, you can go onto the my label's website, which is freakypug.co.uk, and there you can buy the actual copy, physical copy. But you can buy it anywhere. Also, if you type in Angelo Tristan on Google, you know, it will give you loads of options where you can get it. Now, after this EP, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to be touring for a bit when this EP gets released. I've got a lot of promotional stuff happening in terms of this EP, playing the festivals in Germany, like I was saying. Hopefully 1 or 2 in America. I'll hopefully be setting 1 or 2 up in America very soon. I'll let those guys know about that. But after this EP, I've already got my album sorted in terms of songs. So I'm going to be going into the studio and recording the album, which will have a good 15 tracks on it. So that's what will be coming next. I'm hoping to go in the studio at the end of summer and starting to do that. So then you'll be expecting a debut album from Angelo Tristan, hopefully mid 2014, maybe towards the end, and then a tour following that. Yeah.
Holy mackerel, goodness gracious. And then you have to squeeze in getting married somewhere in there. Or hopefully so, or finding out that this is going to happen, or take her with you, or whatever the case may be. My goodness, you were just taking off like a rocket. My God, I am so lucky that I just by chance came across you on Twitter, found you, and here you are. I mean, and look at how far you've come between the last time I've spoken to you and now. I have to say, my friend, my hat's off to you, and my heart goes to you, and I am so praying for your success all of the time. I think that the world is a better place with you in it, and I truly mean that. I think
thank you.
You are just you're impressive because you're not over the top, because you're very realistic, because you pour your heart into your music, because you're genuinely a very good and decent fellow. But now I'm afraid you're going to be too busy to write me a song.
Whoa!
I have this documentary coming, so I need my musician.
There's always time for that. But no, like, don't get me wrong. Once success hits, you'll be one of the first people to know, and then I'll come back on your show as many times as you want me. So just be sure of that. Because I think especially in this industry, not only in life but in this industry, when you take, you have to give. So I mean.
Right.
You've given me an opportunity to branch out my views to America. So now, I'll definitely repay the favor and get your name out there as a radio DJ. That's how life works.
Yes, and it should be how it works. Unfortunately, most people don't always look at it like that, but that is how it is. And you have to do nothing for me except I would be a little upset if I didn't get that wedding invitation. I thought, going to a wedding is a heck of a lot more fun. The business stuff is all great, but let's go see the romantic stuff and let's see the girl behind the guy. I think that would be totally cool. Very, very, very cool. I think that would be neat. So, yes, I don't want to forget to mention this, of course, in case I hadn't done this before. I did on our last show, but obviously you are on Facebook because we know that I am friends with you, but you can find Angelo on Facebook, Reverb Nation, YouTube, Amazon, MySpace? Do you have a MySpace profile or you do not?
No, I don't. I've actually, the only MySpace that my name is on is my old band that I was in a good 6-7 years ago. And that's still there. So if you type in my name there, you can actually see the old music that I wrote when I was 13, 14. Or the first renditions of them. So that's quite interesting. I was actually listening to them today, to kind of get a bit of nostalgia back. And yeah, it was quite funny to hear my voice. My voice was so high at that time. I was only 13, 14, so my voice was right up there. And that, so it was quite strange for me to hear that. And I can't sing those songs anymore. But yeah, it's always interesting to see that sort of thing. But I'm on my main ones that I use is obviously Twitter, Facebook.
Right.
Reverb Nation at the moment is just getting revamped. I'm doing some so that once the EP is out, and that'll be on Reverb Nation and things like that. It's not at the moment. I've got my actual website that I'll be getting my domain name today, I think, and that'll be angelotristan.co.uk, and that will have everything there. A gallery, videos, pictures, tour dates, music, links to reviews and songs and. So that will be the best way to kind of check up on me.
Oh, definitely. And I don't want to forget to mention the Twitter handle, which is Tristan, that's spelled Tristan, music, which is how to follow you on Twitter. Obviously, I just want to let you know, Mr. Sir, that on Monday, because it's dropping on Monday, what I will be doing is on my show page and on my Twitter and then on my Facebook, I'm going to one time every hour on the hour for 24 hours will be announcing the EP. So hopefully within a month at all.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, you got to help somebody out, man. I mean, it's not like you're 40 years old and you've been out in the industry for a long time. So sometimes, you got to step it up a little bit and be like, what, the interview is kind of nice, but, people need to be reminded because sometimes, honestly, they don't pay a damn bit of attention to what they're doing. So if you're kind of in their face 12 or 14 times in a day, eventually they're going to be like, okay, who the hell is this Angelo Tristan? They're at least going to want to go take a look or find out who you are. And it's all about, like I said, sometimes you got to put the name out there. So I'm more than happy to lend myself to being able to do that. I'm certain next week, once it gets less crazy, I will go and invest the time and the money into getting a copy myself so that I can have that. And I will stay in touch because I definitely would like you to compose a song for my project, if you don't mind.
Yes, that I'm always up to that. I have now your number anyway as well, so that's whenever you're you're ready, let me know and I'll get onto that. But yeah, no, it's just people like you that help us starting out musicians to get somewhere. So thank you very much for for your time that you're going to be using, and it's not going to go unnoticed. Trust me.
Oh, trust. Are you kidding me? It's just a privilege to know you, my dear. It's a privilege to be your friend, and I'm just, all I can say is however proud that I am, and I hope Monday proves to be a very successful day for you as well as in the future, and certainly stay in touch with us, and thanks for taking the time to do this. Now I'm going to run out and grab my own kiddos and get on to the rest of my weekend, but thank you for doing this for me.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds good, and I'm good. Yes, I'll shoot off and play the gig.
That sounds terrific. I hope it goes well.
Thank you.
All right, I'll have a great night. Say hi to your lady love for me.
I will, definitely. Thank you so much, Cindy.
All right, dear. Take care.
You too. Bye.
All right, folks, that was my second and absolutely amazing interview with Mr. Angelo Tristan. I mean, how do you not just love that guy, right? He is just amazing. He's going to, I just have a feeling in my bones he's going to be over the top amazing and just hands down one of the nicest younger fellows I've ever had the pleasure to get to know and call my friend. So once again, just want to remind everyone, of course, he has his Facebook presence. Twitter handle again is @TristanMusic. You can find his music on Amazon, YouTube, as he mentioned, the revamping of Reverb Nation, which of course you can still find him there. And hopefully in the very near future he'll give me word that you can go ahead and check him out on his new website. So thank you so much for taking the time and the trouble for listening to me twice in one day. Please, 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 I implore you to come on back on next Monday. I'm working actually on my schedule as far as who's going to be on the show. So I guess it'll be a mystery guest at this point in time. So please make sure you come back and check us out. Certainly go to Facebook and check out the Sin's Chat Corner page and like that for me. Pass on the word to everybody that you know that I have a terrific show. If you have any problems, complaints, questions, compliments, we take pretty much anything in this department. Feel free to go ahead and send me a note on Facebook, on my show page, or on my actual Facebook page. So again, thanks so much for your support and listening, and you have a great weekend.